Hey, everybody, and welcome to Shopping with Shana. So, we need to talk. Have you ever been overpriced with a sale item at Kroger before? Well, apparently, this is a problem. Let's get into it. So, Tiffany Green left me a comment on my Facebook page, or I guess sent me a link to a video, which I will link it in the description box below. It's a news link of the details of what we're going to go over here in the article. You can watch the video if you'd like, but I watched the video and then, of course, I decided to find an article so that we could do a little bit of a discussion on what's happening at Kroger. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the deals that I post, but this is going to be just a fun little let's talk about it type of scenario. So basically what happened is Kroger overcharges customers for items that are marked as being on sale. That is the headline Consumer Report finds. Now, this does happen on occasion. Obviously, not every system is going to be perfect. You're going to have tags that accidentally get left up. You're going to have, the computer system not work correctly. There's always reasons why you might get overcharged. But as a consumer, it is my job to kind of watch that. That's why I like to do the self-checkout, because I want to know what's ringing up and what's not ringing up correctly. So let me go through some of this here. So it does say Kroger shoppers might be paying more attention at checkout than they bargained for. A new investigation found price tag errors at the supermarket's giant stores, leading to customers being overcharged on many items marked as discount or on sale. Expired discount tags were found on everyday products ranging from Cheerios cereal to Nescafe instant coffee. According to investigation by Consumer Reports, The Guardian, and the Food and Environment Reporting Network, or otherwise known as FERN. The probe stems from allegations made by Kroger employees in Colorado who are currently in labor negotiations with the supermarket chain. So that's interesting right there. So Kroger employees are the ones that are actually calling this out. So that's alarming. So if they know this is going on, that's a problem. It's one thing for mistakes to happen. It's another thing for it to purposely be overlooked and to leave the tags up and confuse your customers. Okay, so let's scroll up a little bit more. People should pay the price that is being advertised. That's the law. Edgar Dworsky, a consumer advocate and former assistant attorney general in Massachusetts, who runs, that's a hard word for me to say, who runs the Consumer World website, told Consumer Reports. The issue here is that the shoppers can't rely on shelf prices being accurate, and that's a big problem. Again, I don't go through and take pictures of all the shelf tags, but there has been issues in the past where I know that there is like something they're getting ready to pull from a sale. For instance, one time we had a deal on the Cheez-It Puffs. They were like 25 cents for some reason. They were marked down to $1.25 and they were part of a mega sale. Well, if you got there early enough, you got the deal. Well, the tags were still up even after they had pulled it online. And so I was also able to go up to customer service, show them the tag, and they fixed it for me and they gave it to me for 25 cents. And that happened to a lot of people. So even though the system had caught it online and they had fixed the process, they hadn't pulled the tags at all the stores because those were the tags they printed. And so that is the thing. You can go get it fixed. So you do have to kind of do some of the work yourself. It says Kroger operates roughly 2,700 stores throughout the U.S., according to the company's website, and owns a suite of supermarkets that includes Harris Teeter, Fred Meyer, Fry's, and Ralph's. Okay, let's scoot on down past the ad here. To conduct the investigation, Consumer Reports, The Guardian, and Fern recruited people to shop at more than 24 Kroger and Kroger-owned stores in 14 states and the District of Columbia over a roughly 3-month period this year. The investigation found that expired sales labels led to overcharges on more than 150 grocery items, with an average overcharge of $1.70 per item, or 18.4%. That could definitely hurt some, especially low-income people. $1.70 per item, that's not good. For instance, a bag of Mission flour tortillas at a Harris Teeter in Alexandria, Virginia, was advertised on sale for $2.99, while the customers were charged $4.99. That's a $2 difference. I know $2 at one thing is not a big deal, but if you have multiple items that are not bringing up correctly, that can really hurt you. Although pricing mistakes were not found at all the Kroger stores in the investigation, the probe found issues at over half of the 26 locations it examined. That's crazy. Kroger took issue with findings, saying the investigation greatly overstates the pricing issue. I mean, I can see that to some extent. Again, it's hard, to pull all the tags. I know for a fact I've been in store filming, and there are last week's tags up, and they've been up for 3 days. But I know the tags are different from the current sale tags. But again, this is what I do for my living, is that I make videos and I put together sales promotions. I also know that before I go to the store, I already have marked down the items that I want to get. I know what the prices are supposed to be, what coupons are supposed to come off. I'm very well prepared. Not everybody is well prepared. So although I feel like I take some ownership in making sure my prices are right, it's not fair to everybody. All right, scooting on down here. The characterization of widespread pricing concerns is patently false, a Kroger spokesperson said in an email to CBS Money Watch, adding that the errors cited by the investigators represented only a few dozen examples across several years out of billions of customer transactions annually. Although Consumer Price Index data shows the rate of inflation in grocery prices eased last month, Americans continue to face higher costs for household goods. Even if the incidents are careless rather than calculated, it creates a perception that Kroger is ripping people off, said Neil Saunders, an analyst with retail industry research firm Global Data, in an email to CBS Money Watch. That's not what any grocer retailer wants or needs when the consumer is looking to maximize value for money. All right. So again, I definitely fall on the side. I think Kroger is being more careless than calculated. It also depends on your store, your managers, your people that are employed there. Do you have enough people to actually do what they're supposed to do? They're pulling tags, they're putting up new tags every Wednesday morning. So there's a lot that goes into this. So I can easily see it's hard to put this over every Kroger store when there's lots of really good ones out there. And then there are going to be some that are going to be run by questionable people that are going to have questionable people working for them, and they're not going to necessarily update like they should. There's always people that are going to cheat the system or run around the system and not want to do it correctly. So, all right. So it says Kroger not alone in overcharging claims. Okay. So the overcharging problem is not unique to Kroger. Retailers like Walmart, Safeway, Albertsons, and Vons have been hit with similar allegations. Grocery giant Albertsons in October agreed to pay $4 million to settle a lawsuit accusing the California chain of selling items for more than their lowest advertised price. Hey, is anyone out there? Were you part of this? I would love to know that. Wow, who was on that lawsuit? That's amazing. But the Kroger case stands out for several reasons, said Derek Creves, an investigative journalist and author of the Consumer Report story. One is that in states in the Midwest and the South, where the retailer has a strong foothold, Kroger is often one of just a few places to choose from for grocery shopping. That's completely true. I mean, I live on the Kentucky side of Cincinnati. We still don't have, I think, a ton of grocery stores. I have a ton of Kroger. I mean, I could go 5 miles any direction and find me a Kroger. That's for sure. We just literally got our first Publix like a month ago. And other than Walmart and Meijer, I have one Meijer and one Walmart that is in a decent distance. Everything else is Kroger. So I don't really have a lot to choose from. And I would say I'm probably from a bigger area, city type of area. So that's very interesting. Yeah. There you go. Crevis, I hope I said your name right, also pointed to the persistent flow of complaints from Kroger customers over out-of-date sales prices dating back to the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, now that is just a bad store. If you have tags up from 2020, that's a problem. That is a serious problem, and that store needs help. So people need to go not us, but like people that run the Kroger need to go into the store and see what is going on there. Because if you've got 5-year-old tags still up in your store, that is that store's problem. So in Ohio, for example, the Attorney General's office has received nearly 60 complaints of price tags and overcharge issues at Kroger since 2021. Okay. Well, I'm from Kentucky, so we literally are right on the southern side of Ohio. I'm in Ohio all the time. So that's not good. All right, let's keep going, see what else they got to say. Almost every single time I go in the store, the listed price is an item of an item is not what rings up at the register. Belpre resident Allison Hadfield noted in one of the three complaints she and her husband, Derek, filed against their local Kroger store, according to customer reports. Shopper Elizabeth Giovanni also submitted several complaints to her local Kroger store in Millington, Tennessee. In one case, she said an entire dairy case with cheese had expired signs. Ooh, that's not cool either. Yeah, so we definitely need to be watching the food. And I can't lie, I've been to the store before and have seen the some questionable food. Have you ever noticed like sometimes the meats, it'll be on clearance and they're like starting to brown and it just looks gross or gray, right? So that kind of thing happens. Probably fruit in general. I always have to really examine the fruit because a lot of times if I just pick something up, I'll find a whole bunch that are starting to expire. So that's something that you do have to take note of. Now, dairy, that could be very interesting because sometimes you can't see completely into the packaging. But yeah, you can check the date, and if the date is not bad and the product is bad, then that could be a refrigeration problem. You could always bring it back to the store; they'll reimburse you, or they'll let you get new cheese. I mean, next, it says, I've recently stopped shopping there because of their lack of accountability and willingness to change the prices when they're in the wrong, she said in an email to CBS Money Watch. Now, that is bad customer service. I have to say, anytime I've ever had a problem with a store posting the wrong tag or whatever, I've never had a problem getting it fixed. Now, sometimes the cashier is like, I can't help you, but you can take this to customer service and they can fix it for you, especially if I've already paid. If I've already paid, then I have to go to customer service. Now, and I've also seen it where the cashier will just fix it right there at the checkout. Now, there are also bad cashiers. I've had a cashier that flat out tried to tell me that how the mega sale works is very different than how the mega sale works. They told me that with the ad, I had to pick 5 things out of the one box, individual box, and then 2 pages later where it has more mega sale items, I had to get 5 things off of that box. But they're 2 separate boxes. And that's not true. It's all part of the same mega sale. You had to buy 5 participating items. Needless to say, she and I are not friends. I avoid her like the plague. And I've also noticed that she is not checking out people much anymore. She tends to do the going and getting stuff. What is that called? When they do the online orders and they go pick it up, whatever that's called. She tends to do that more now. And I don't know if it's because maybe she's had complaints because she's gotten kind of nasty with people. I've never actually complained about her, but I did flat out look her in the face and said, you don't know what you're doing. You need to be trained. Anyway, and only because she was very snotty to me. I don't normally do that. I'm a very nice person when I'm working with cashiers because they're awesome people. But now I just make sure that I go to a cashier that I like and I trust. There's so many up at the store that know me that there's no reason for me to go to one that I don't like. In addition to individual complaints, customers have also filed multiple class action lawsuits alleging price errors at Kroger locations, with cases ongoing in California, Ohio, and Illinois, according to The Guardian. All right, so that's interesting. Kroger said it has taken steps to fix price discrepancies. That includes instituting a policy that gives employees the authority to fix price problems on the spot. That's great. Again, you would have to prove it though. So if you do ever have, you know that there's going to be an issue with a product, especially if you're watching me, because we'll talk about the glitch deals that pop up here and there. And you know that the pricing could change at checkout. Make sure that you get a snap a picture of the tag before they pull it or whatever. Kroger is committed to affordable and accurate pricing, and we conduct robust price checks processes. My mouth is like blah, 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 and reviews millions of items weekly to ensure our shelf prices are accurate, a spokesperson told CBS Money Watch. And again, probably true for a lot of stores, especially big, well-run stores with plenty of staff. You've got smaller stores with less staff, questionable people running it, managers, you never know. Okay, Scooting on down, potential staffing issues. What did I just say? Between 2019 and 2024, the average number of employees at Kroger-owned stores that the researchers focused on fell by 10.3%, or 17 employees per store, according to the report, which cites data from the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. The average number of hours worked also fell by 2.7 hours per week. And so this is where I think I was getting at. If your store is not well staffed, then you're going to have to be more diligent about your tags and yourself, okay? So if you know that they are struggling to keep enough people on staff to even check people out, the last thing they're worried about are fixing the tags from week to week, because it's a full-time job. On Wednesdays, if you've never gone into a Kroger Wednesday mornings, like start going at 7 o'clock in the morning. I used to do that all the time pre-COVID when they didn't have everything listed online. Now I just wait for it to all upload online, and I do it in the morning before the store even opens. I'm finding deals for you guys on Wednesday mornings. But prior to that, I would have to wait until the store opens, and then I would have to head to the store. I'd usually have to wait like about an hour for them to start doing all the tagging. And then I could start where they had tagged. And then hopefully by the end of the time I was there, I had gotten most everything, if not everything, as they were tagging. And they have, oh my goodness, they'll have, 5 or 6 different groups of people, at least in my store. Now it's a marketplace store, so it's a big one. They'll have 5 or 6 groups of people in aisles tagging, like pulling the tags from the day before and adding the new tags. And they're doing it all Wednesday morning. And so there's a lot of work done. And if you don't have that kind of staff, then it just doesn't happen. So that's a good note there. All right. There are simply not enough employees to manually switch out price labels on shelves because some stores have tens of thousands of price tags hanging at any one time, Krevis wrote in his report. Kroger denies there's a problem with understaffing. In a statement to CBS Money Watch, the Kroger spokesperson said work hours and staffing at its store have not been reduced. We intentionally staff our stores to keep them running smoothly while creating an enjoyable place to shop, the spokesperson said. Our staffing decisions are data-driven to balance workload and schedules. All right, so Krevis was giving them an out. And I would have taken it, Kroger. I would have taken it. Because you're just saying, well, it's just our fault for not doing it. And not being clear. I mean, you're saying that you have enough staff. So therefore, this is not an excuse you should be able to give yourself. I would have taken the out. We're having trouble staffing accurately or adequately, not accurately, adequately. That's a hard word. Again, man, I'm struggling with words today. This is why I don't do these videos very often. So please give me some love. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you think in the comments, all that good stuff. But I would have taken the gift of the out there, Kroger. So you didn't do it. Okay. The last thing it says, the investigation on overcharging comes as the grocery giant reports record sales and profits. Kroger reported $3.8 billion in operating profit last year, according to a March earnings report. Okay, so I just want to take a note of that. I'm going to get a little off topic here. After they bought all their products, after they paid all their employees, everything, they brought in $3.8 billion in profit. Okay, now that being said, when we're couponing, and I'm speaking to the choir here, we are not stealing from the store, okay? Just to make that extremely clear. You know how many times I hear people tell me, well, couponers are just trying to steal from the store. They're trying to get one over. No, that's not the case. The stores are still making tons of money. And in fact, if they're accepting our coupons, they actually make more money. Now, store coupons are a little bit different, so it does come out of the store price. But if you are using a manufacturer coupon, the retailer gets back the full amount of the coupon, plus it's usually 7 cents on top of it. So they would make more money to accept your coupon than they would to not accept it. Okay, so think about that. They're making plenty of money. If you're a couponer, do not feel guilty. You're doing what's best for your family. They give out these coupons for a reason. They want you to try their products. They want you to be incentivized to buy Sargento cheese over the Kroger brand cheese. So they're going to give you Sargento coupons or whatever it might be. I'm just trying to throw something out there. So just think of it that way. All right, guys. So I would love to hear your thoughts on this. What do you think? Does anybody have a story or a situation you'd like to share in the comments below of something that you've dealt with? I have to say, I've dealt with wrong tags before. I've dealt with them when they messed up a price, like I told you with the Cheez-It puff that one time. But I've also just dealt with the wrong uh, price tag being up there, and especially on a Wednesday morning. I don't know. I just grabbed an item that I saw had a tag on it. And apparently that tag was the day before's tag. There's also sometimes where they will have the sale go through Monday and not through Tuesday, but they leave the tag up. Have you ever noticed that? I've had that happen too. And me thinking that the tag is good through all the way through Tuesday before the new sales cycle on Wednesday, and it's not. But if you look at the dates, it'll tell you it's done on Monday. I've had that happen too. It's been rare, but I have had that happen. I don't know why they pulled the sale a day early, but they have done that. And they didn't take down the tags. And all I had to do was well, first of all, if I can catch it before I check out and pay, the cashier has always been great at fixing it, especially if they go check it or if I have a picture of it. If I've already paid and I realize on my receipt later, just going over to customer service, showing them what's happened. I've also had them have to walk away and go check the aisle. Sometimes they won't believe my picture if I've taken a picture of it, and they'll go check the aisle. That has happened too, but they're very good, at least at my store, of fixing it. So if your store is not fixing it, then you definitely need to contact Kroger online. Generally, they will fix it there. Anyway, let me know in the comments any of your thoughts on this. Do you feel like you're being scammed at Kroger? As a couponer, I kind of feel like I have the upper hand at couponing, but I don't know. Let me know in the comments your thoughts and all that good stuff. So have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And let me know in the comments, do you like this kind of content? Do I need to find more, shopping articles type of content that we could talk about, discuss? Maybe make this like a regular Saturday thing where I just leave up a video where we can discuss different types of couponing issues or store issues or whatever the case might be. Let me know in the comments. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. I'll be back with you with more deals later, because this isn't deals. And I'll see you later. Bye, guys.